Hello, groomers. Hi, Susie.
Hi, Barbara. Hi, groomers. Hi, viewers. Welcome to episode 178 live of the GroomPod, recorded on September 2nd, 2018 in Snohomish, Washington, and Tucson, Arizona, and wherever you guys all are. This week on the GroomPod, we're going to talk about Zymox and our definition du jour. And our definition du jour is efficacy, but this is a really loose show. So I'm just throwing those out there as an idea. And I also wanted to mention the discussion group on Facebook at facebook.com/group/the GroomPod, a new Patreon member who has signed up, yay, which is Hannah Swanson. Thank you, Hannah Swanson. Woohoo!
Hi, Hannah.
And what else do I need? Oh, I know. Hey, Positive Ed. Let's talk really quickly about Positive Ed.
Okay.
It's a cool new way to learn grooming stuff in the whatever location you want. It's like live webinars once a month for $30 a month or $360 a year. Sorry about my dog over here making all kinds of noise. Just a second. Excuse me.
I have my dog on lockdown.
Talk for a moment, Barbara.
Okay, well, we're talking. So I'm excited that we're doing this live video with y'all this morning. It was my idea, and if it works out, it just might become a regular feature of the GroomPod, as we want to.
Except for shit like that.
Susie coming in the camera with her Snoochie show in there.
I have short. It's all good.
I thought you were flashing us just to add a little bit of something extra to our video that you don't see in other groomers' videos, right?
Oh, good point.
We do what we gotta do, right? You will notice that today I am located in the seaside. This is the Arizona seaside, my little beach escape. And if I push my seat back, I could maybe collapse the whole damn thing.
I thought you were gonna there for a second.
I thought I was gonna there for a second too. You know, the water buckets from my leaky ceiling are what's propping up the backdrop there. It's I put it together, but I couldn't find my Phillips screwdriver. You know, like every time you buy a really expensive tool, I have this beautiful ratchet screwdriver that has all the attachments in the handle. It's all in one piece, and I can't find it for the life of me, and I'm sure that the last handy person helped themselves, you know, because it should be in one of 5 places, and it ain't to be found.
I swear I was the last handy person, or have you had someone else in
there? We've had, but you know, like the last handy person, I think was too, he was too simple to steal. You know,
I get it.
Get it? So do you want me to tell you about the,
No, I want you to let me finish my my Positive Ed ad. Just wait a second. This is what, now you're getting a behind the scenes look. There's 6 people watching. Oh, 1 dropped off. We're down to 5.
Yeah, right. I don't blame her.
Okay. PositiveEd.com. PAWSITIVEED.com. Once a month speaker with interaction with the listeners. This month's topic on 9/16 Eastern time is all about having the right forms. Okay, now Barbara, tell me about it. Give it to us.
Okay, so I had an interesting little episode happen about a client, and this is what happened. You know, I use the Square system for taking charges, and I've been using Square for a number of years. I really love it. I really like the way it emails me right away when a transaction has been completed. So if I have any doubts about whether my connection was good and I got the money actually, or if I failed, it's right there. Or if I have to look back and immediately and see it, the email comes in right away. They've got good reports and all that, yada, yada. Well, had an email from Square entitled, Disputed charges.
Uh-oh. Whoa.
Disputed charges? Well, that's a new one. I haven't had anyone ever do that in that, like I've had people call and complain. I mean, rarely. I mean, I don't even have much unhappiness in my interaction with customers, but here it is, disputed charges. And so you have to dig a little bit to find out about it. And I said, who would do this? So it was like $48. So almost all of my grooms are 55 and up. So $48 turned out to be $40 plus $8 tip. And I could only think of one person that would have that low a grooming charge. And it was this woman who lives in the neighborhood who's really friendly and has brought us fruit from her tree and effuses over us every visit. And she has this little kind of Dachshund Terrier mix that she thinks is an exotic smooth-coated terrier that she picked up from the pond. Like she's got some kind of and the thing of it is she wants him deshed. The dog is a smooth coat. He doesn't shed. I mean, it's not like a pug that, they shed profusely all the time. People are surprised to learn how much hair in their homes from a pug. But, a little single-coated black dachshund mix, it doesn't shed. So anyway, we polish this dog up every 6 weeks or so. And she's always loved us. And then I looked in deeper into my square, and there was a second charge that she had disputed in June for an April payment. So it was a total of $96 they were going to withdraw. And the bad news was that although Square offers, they support their vendors in these kinds of matters, if you don't use the chip,
bye-bye, huh?
Yeah, you're screwed. It's an automatic refund the customer. So I'm thinking, well, besides the fact, when I found out that it was this one customer, I couldn't believe my eyes. She loves us. We love her. We love Willie.
What did you do?
I emailed her.
Oh, good idea. Less confrontational. I was thinking, do you call? But email is much gentler.
I emailed her, and I said, I've got this notice from Square that you've disputed 2 charges for Willie's grooming, and I could not believe my eyes. I mean, I told her that in the email. I said, I can't believe that this was you. Please tell me what's up. And she got right back to me and said, oh, no, that was you?
Oh, boy, I bet your heart just went, phew.
Yeah, I went, phew. I said, oh, so what happened was that she didn't recognize the business.
Oh, and it was Transformation Pet Center?
It's Transformation, but it was SQ for Square.
Oh.
SQ, and so she's searching for SQ Transformation Tucson, and it didn't say Pet Center. It just said SQ Transformation, and she wasn't that attached to the transformation. Hello, you walk in here every 6 weeks. But anyway, she hadn't recognized the name of the business, and so she had disputed the charges. So she felt guilty and horrible. And I said, no worries. I don't think they've actually taken the money from me yet. And if you contact your credit card bank, and I'll contact Square, and we'll try to get them to just drop it, and then we'll be good. Everything's fine. and every little thing is gonna be all right, and I tried to reassure her that we adore her and Willie, and we'll just carry on as though nothing ever happened. So, but what a shocker, and bad news to realize that you don't even get a chance. You just don't even have a challenge up when you don't use the chip reader. And I've never been able to marry my chip reader to my iPad because I had that older iPad that was then stolen. So now I've just been running the charges on my phone.
Can you put the chip reader on your phone?
I don't know. Like one of the things with this,
iPhone.
iPhone 6S was that they took away the connection where you put the headphones.
Oh, no
and
ports.
that's the yeah. So I have an attachment port that fits into the charger hole.
Yeah.
And I'm going to see if that will take a chip, a regular slider chip reader. I'll check it out because that's unfortunate. You see, I don't have that much incidental business. I don't have that much business with people I don't know because
right.
most of my I do very little on the spur of the moment walk-ins, or we don't even do a new customer unless there's quite a bit of conversation and relationship is established and all of that. So it's a shock to have that happen. But I thought
completely opposite to that. Completely opposite to that. Working at the vet hospital. Dogs I've never seen, somebody else's cards.
Oh, God.
It's, I remember when I worked at the vet, the relief doctors who come in and fill in for the vacationing doctors. And I knew when I was a bread delivery driver, I've delivered a lot of stuff. When I was a bread driver, they had relief drivers as well, which is kind of cool. And I thought, that's a way to like change things up all the time, keep your mind working, run a different route every time you come to work. You do one for 2 weeks, then you go do somebody else's route for 2 weeks. I thought, wouldn't that be an interesting life for a groomer? If you just did fill in vacation work for local groomers around you so that they could keep their schedule. Then I did 4 days up at the vet hospital. I don't know.
And I don't think so.
No, I could do it. I could do it because my specialty is people and pets. It's not just the pets that I'm really good at customer service. So I did a good job of schmoozing, but I got in there and interesting revolutions. It was a good day. I had 7 pets, a couple bass. I had a puppy Frenchie bulldog that was so adorable.
Cute.
And it was really little. Like you could tell it wasn't going to be one of these 40-pound Frenchies. That was going to be a nice, petite, little, adorable, slate gray colored Frenchie. And I did a beagle. And then I did I was pulling the cards, and one of the cards that I pulled was a Yorkie that on the last 2 grooms, they said, we can't do the feet. And I thought, oh, this is going to be fun because now I can see when other people can't do it, if I can do it. This is going to be cool, like totally right up my alley because I love a competition. I like to be validated like you do. And it was a perfect opportunity for that. So I was in chatting with the groomer that's there, the one that didn't have knee surgery, but the other one, Nikki. And I found out some interesting things from Nikki. First of all, I found out, she can't do the feet on this dog either. And would I please take the dog away forever? So I then went in and I talked to the vet and he said, if you want to go ahead and offer that dog home grooming. So I did offer them home grooming. They'll probably go to me. Needless to say, I did a great job on the feet. It was not a problem with my restraint system because what the dog was doing was backing away and pushing down. So I just put it in the cross tie, and it was so worried about the cross tie that I picked up and did its feet before it even knew the feet were done. It was really cool. I love that. It was good validation. But here's the fascinating thing. I now know why Nikki wasn't very warm and friendly to me. There's a lot of reasons. One of them is I think she's afraid of being fired, which I get that one. But the bigger thing is the first day she showed up, my phone number is on the dry erase board there for grooming emergencies or questions, or if you need equipment fixed, I can tell you who to do it, that kind of stuff. I'm up there for a reference. But ever since day one, she didn't know who I was. And she didn't even connect those dots until that last day I was there. But here's the funny thing. When she was hired, the day she was hired, because Tammy hired her,
Tammy is the bitch wife that fired you.
that is her.
Okay.
So she was told on the very first day, Tammy came into the interview room and said, "You're not going to leave us like Susy did and start your own business, are you?" So not only did Nikki not really particularly like me honing in on her business, but she also thought I had just bailed and cut and run one day, because that's the impression she got from Tammy.
See, and even Tammy thinks that.
I know.
You know, she twisted that in her mind right away, didn't she?
Oh, she asked me as she was firing me if she could tell the staff and the clients that it was a mutual parting. And I told her she could do whatever she wanted, but I didn't think anyone would ever believe her. And they didn't, except for Nikki, who never met me. She's like, "You're that Susy? That Susy?" So, all right. If I'd have told her that the first day, we would have instantly bonded and everything would have been great, because she's walking on eggshells because she's afraid of Tammy. And then she finds out. Then I told her the whole story and she was much more enlightened. So we bonded a little bit over that. So I'm glad my time is done over there. It was fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. The doctor brought me some hamburgers, a couple hamburgers and French fries for my last day. So I got fed twice out of 4 days. That was cool. I can dig that. And it was good. I enjoyed it. I'm glad to have that association. And yeah, I'm glad it's over. It was fun, though. It was good. It was all good. So, all right. Well, what would you like to talk about? Want to talk about Zymox?
Yeah, we had an inquiry to what did we think about. I am not the judge and jury of all the products out there on the market. Thank you. Okay, so people want my input on their products. Mainly, they want to know if they're any good or if they're bad. But in my mind, I don't really find any bad products. I can find overpriced products. I can find overhyped products. I can find products that don't clean as well as other products. But, like what makes for a bad shampoo? Hard to really say. But so here's the bottle of Zymox. I said, okay, let me look into this.
Oh, no. Doesn't that figure? This is what it's like when we record live, when we record every week, is all of a sudden she'll get to the meat of the subject and her internet will piss out and then she's gone. So we'll just tap dance a little. Oh, she's back.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was I saying? So let's look at Zymox.
Let me read you the question. How's that?
Okay, read me the question.
Hi, Barbara and Susie. I'm wondering about the Zymox brand, wondering about how it claims to be enzymatic and what that really means, and how good is it to use as a medicated shampoo and ear cleaner. Thank you. And that's from Katie Higgins.
Okay, so Katie, what enzymatic means is that they have chosen to, in their additives and their specialty and their character of their whole line. You know how Pantene used dipanthenol as their kind of key point ingredient for their line of products? They developed a whole line around the use of panthenol. So Zymox has developed a whole line around their use of three enzymes. So enzymes, you've probably run into the concept of enzymatic cleaning in laundry, right? in laundry. Well, like there's a lot of enzymes out there. So what Zymox has developed a trio of enzymes that are actually enzymes that are found in saliva.
No, gross. Really?
No, yeah. And not only that, but these three enzymes are used by other companies. They're used a lot in oral care products. Like the TheraBreath and all of those kind of woo woo oral care products that are enzymatic. They use these same three enzymes. Now I'm not going to.
Aquafresh. Is that one of them? Aquafresh?
Might be. But so enzymatic cleaning, it's where the enzymes kind of break up the protein debris, the waste, the dirt, and they help to. These three enzymes have been shown in vitro, which means in the petri dish in the lab. They've been shown to be very effective against bacteria and stuff.
Not Aquafresh. I think it's Oxifresh. No, wait, that's.
Well, Oxifresh uses.
I'm trying to remember. It was like an MLM from many moons ago that people used to sell out of their house that you'd rinse your teeth with, and there was a toothbrush. There was a pet shampoo. What is that product? Do you remember that? Pet shampoo, pet wash, mouthwash, toothbrush. Then there was human products as well, and it was a multi-level marketer. If anybody out there, any of you guys listening or watching, I forget you're watching. Oh my God. You can chat. There's a little button over to the left side of your YouTube where you can chat. And I have the chat open over here. Hi, chat open. And if you guys, maybe I can't. Huh. I thought I could chat, but I guess I can't chat. Oh, well. Okay. Never mind.
To be worked on.
Yeah, you guys can apparently chat though while I'm in talking. Yeah. So over there, if anybody knows what that product was called, needless to say, it's irrelevant anyway. Tangent.
So anyway, these three enzymes have been proven in the laboratory to be very effective antibiotic, antifungal, all of that good stuff that you would want with skincare. And so they, and actually Zymox, their shampoo was added in their line a little bit later on. It wasn't their original product. I've used the Zymox ear stuff. Very effective. I mean, I've had overnight relief on my own dogs. I always keep them around, and it is an effective product. Whether or not the shampoo is more or less effective than other antimicrobial products is to be determined. We don't have, too bad we don't have a laboratory where I could test that as against some chlorhexidine shampoo or just other options. But
I have an ingredient list.
There is an ingredient list, and it's very, very mild shampoo based, right? Yes. Glucoside type. Two of them, right?
And cocamidobutane and some vitamins and lactoferrin, lactoperoxidase, zinc gluconate, potassium iodide, natural fragrance. That's it.
Okay, so I have no doubt that the enzymes are effective.
Where are they?
Where are they?
Yeah, in that ingredient list.
You just read lacto.
That's it.
Those three. That's them.
Yeah, those three.
Okay. Thank you. What I don't trust as much is how effective it can in a rinse off shampoo. So I'm assuming that the directions have it has to sit on the dog for a while, because and the other thing is that
yes,
it
3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, I would at least do 5 minutes.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like long enough to me. I would go 5 to 10, and that's on the veterinary labeling.
Right.
Yeah.
But the vitamin stuff, I have less faith in that because I just don't. And they make a point of using vitamin D3. Now, vitamin D3 is very important to skin health, but I've never seen it applied topically in a rinse off. Vitamins are not substantive to hair. They don't have any quality that makes them stick to hair when the hair is rinsed. They like go on and they're rinsed off. So they're just added so that they can say vitamins because we associate vitamins psychologically with it's a good thing, you know. So I have a little bit of on the marketing of the vitamins, but I do think it's probably a good product or a good product line. I definitely have my own personal experience with the ear product as being good, and I don't see any reason to not give it a try.
So I used it because we got samples when we were at Super Zoo. So I
Uh-huh.
got a bunch of samples. They gave me like 4 or 5 different, I think there was shampoo and conditioner and the mouthwash or something like that. And I tried it and I thought it was okay. It didn't seem to clean as well as I would have liked, but reading the ingredient list, it's so gentle. I understand that. So, maybe for dogs that are really clean and you're just treating, so maybe you wash them first and get them all clean and then follow them up with the Zymox treatment, I think would be a great idea.
That's how I would use it. Because when you have these little non-sulfate, not little, but these mild non-sulfate cleansers do not clean as well. Uh, if the dog is dirty or has a seborrheic buildup, kind of oily, greasy skin problem, but uh, it helped, and a lot of veterinarians recommend that that there be 2 shampoos, a general cleaning shampoo, hypoallergenic, hopefully, you're not a whole lot of fragrance, not a whole lot of additives, but a general basic cleansing shampoo, like a clarifying shampoo, and then follow with, in this case, I don't think the Zymox is going to be as effective in a bathing system as it would be full strength out of the bottle. That's how it's
Nor is
intended to
really
be
any
used.
shampoo. You're supposed to hand apply those medicated shampoos. If it's a general bath and they're wanting me to use it and they're not going to come back in for another month and they're not going to get bathed at home, I might run it through the bathing system. But I'll tell you what I'd be running through my bathing system. It would either be Show Season Soothe or my new personal favorite, which would always be my go-to at this point, and that's the MED chlorhexidine shampoo from Best Shot, because I love the way it cleans. I love the way it leaves the coat. It's got chlorhexidine in it, which is really the all-purpose kind of good skin treatment that leaves a little bit of residual.
Microbial.
Thank you, microbial. I was looking for that word and it just wouldn't come. This is just one of those things that I would edit out in the real show, but you get to see all of our warts here when we do it this way. Okay. So anyway, I would absolutely use the Best Shot shampoo, and there's a reason for that. It's because it's effective cleaning. It's an effective cleaning shampoo. It's not just a nice medicated shampoo. So, if I'm going to run it through the bathing system, that's the one I'm going to grab for. All right. And do you want to do a definition du jour?
Okay, it's just a quickie.
Yeah, and then this isn't going to be a really long show.
So do you have there, since you seem to be on our web page, do you have the question from Christine Pearson about that she just posted to me? The definition du jour is efficacy, and that question from Christine.
I'm looking. Hang on. Tap dance for a moment.
Tapping dance. So basically, I'm going to give it to you while she's looking it up. Efficacy, it means effectiveness. So, how do you measure the efficacy of our products? Well, it's really very hard to do. And when you get into spa products, this is what Christine was asking me. You found the quote? Okay,
Yes,
read it to me.
it is. What's that equation or statement about the true efficacy of a hair or skin therapy and how a spa treatment is most effective? Something about there being a combination of thermal aspect, a hydro aspect, and a mechanical aspect combined with the repetition of it being done.
Okay, so I don't recognize it. She's insisting that this is from me, this equation. I don't recognize that
You know what
equation.
that screams? That screams Nagayu bathing, the
Sis.
expensive bathing systems.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
that sounds like.
yeah. It's not my equation, but it does bring up this. It's interesting. Christine Pearson often posts questions to the GroomPod discussion list that are kind of directly to me. So she's talking so we have a vocabulary together that means maybe very little to a lot of our listeners or our readers. And that's why I wanted to quickly define efficacy as effectiveness. And when you get into spa products, it's one thing to just okay, so there's medicated products. Most medicated products, especially if they've been developed for the veterinary field, have gone through some kind of the ingredients have been tested for efficacy, for effectiveness. We know that chlorhexidine 2% is going to be effective against bacteria and less effective against fungus, but it has antifungal activity. Now, how do you measure the efficacy of a spa treatment? Especially, let's look at mineral springs where people go and then they soak in this water stuff in this special mineral, or it's got Dead Sea or something. Like when they say Dead Sea, I just see a lot of dead fish.
I know.
I
It's a weird idea.
it's a weird idea. So how do you measure the effectiveness of something that's has a cultural base? There you go with the Nagayu. Something that has that's been a part of the culture for hundreds of years. That's attached to the concept, the psychological concept of healing, because holistic and spa treatments are always holistic. Holistic affects your psychology as well as your actual physical being, right?
Yes.
So there's a certain psychology involved in seeking out and in engaging in a spa treatment that is greater than the sum of its parts. And it has to do with being pampered or pampering yourself or prioritizing yourself or prioritizing your pet. Yeah, I think that what cracks me up about spa treatments for pets is that our psychology sometimes likes the spa treatment better than the pet does.
I know it's cold to stand there and soak. Be it a mud soak or a,
You know,
or
what kind of a bath do pets prefer? Quick and gentle. Like, get me out of here. Where's my towel? Like they don't exactly want to sit in the tub soaking.
I
Or
must confess that I also do not tolerate spa treatments. Like I had a
I
massage
believe it.
once.
I believe it. You probably can't be still that long. You
Nope,
can't.
I had a massage. I squirmed, and the lady about 10, 15 minutes in said, "Do you just want me to stop?" And I said, "Yes." And we called it quits. And
Oh,
I've never had a facial, and I don't like massages, and I've not had my fingernails done or my toenails done, or I do that stuff myself. I don't go to the hairdresser to have my hair done. I just cut the end off and I dye it myself. I'm kind of low maintenance that way. So I have a hard time with the whole spa concept because, quite frankly, I feel it's a little bit of a racket. Although although I get it, it makes you feel good, but I'm torn there because I won't spend the money on it. I won't spend my time that way. More so because
well,
I won't give my time. I'd rather sit at home and edit a podcast than I would sit in somebody's
so
weird,
so
smelly room.
so I'm. It's not supposed to smell weird.
Okay.
So I'm going to say something. The the psychological effect depends on your attitude. So your attitude is probably going to minimize the effect, the efficacy of any spa treatment that you might accidentally engage in.
Fall upon, stumble into, open the
But
door and get surprised
but
with.
like when it's built into your culture, when your culture believes in the results, that's even more than having a good attitude. That is it. You are just much more likely to experience a positive result when you believe that you're going to have a positive result, when your mother has had a positive result, when your grandmother had a positive result, when your entire community engages in this mineral spring and has a positive result, you're going to experience a positive result.
But the dog doesn't have any of that.
But the dog doesn't have any of that. And so a lot of times when you're selling a spa service,
Yeah, I know. That's why I don't sell
you're,
spa services. Yeah,
you
okay.
know,
I get it.
you know, well, and I had, it's interesting because I have a customer that has a Sheltie, like a 10 or 11-year-old Sheltie, very well bred, full coated, lovely little dog. This woman has money, and so uh, she's easy to sell. I mean, she said, give him all the extras. So she wanted a teeth brushing, she wanted a paw scrub, I wanted to do our um, in-house spa bath, uh, Nagayu knockoff, because he had some flaky issues. And I said, I have a spa bath that might really help this. And so we did that. And then the next time she brought him in, she added more things. Just give him the works. I love this dog. Give him the works. So we do. So then they feel like they're doing their maximum for their fur kid. Man, I hate this fur kid idea. It. But
So,
do you know what? Fur Kids started out in groups of pet owners sharing that, like on the Be Shown list, and like what do we call them? Okay, Fur Kids, and now the concept of Fur Kids is being marketed with products to get those people who consider their pets to be their children to buy the products. They'll call them For Your Fur Kids.
yeah, I know.
Oh
So
man, I love it.
circling
Certainly,
back, then we're dealing with the humans' psychological part of the dog spa treatment then. So even though the dog is not dealing with the psychological aspect of it, the person paying for the dog to have the spa treatment is dealing with the psychological, is dealing with her pedicure feels good or her facial feels good. So of course I want my dog to have that. I get it.
well, yes, and you see, and the opposite works too. This is why it's important to be patient with your human customers, because if you lose your temper or get shut down or get too rigid and unaccepting in your judgmental in your attitude towards your customers, they think that you're not as nice to their pets.
Yeah,
If you lose patience with your customers, they're gonna think that you lose patience with their pets.
and you might. I mean,
And
it certainly is an indicator for me. The way people treat their pets is certainly, I make a judgment on that because I walk around judging everything. I'm that person, always in my mind
hey,
thinking,
you're
yes,
human. You're
I
human.
know.
Everybody
So,
goes around
so
judging
here's a
everything.
here's a revelation that I'm having right here on air with the what is left 6 viewers, and will be later.
God, I
I
thought we'd have 100.
Well, we didn't put it. If I'd have put it out 3 days ago, maybe, but it was a spontaneous idea. Um, so it took me what 6 episodes to figure out that my microphone wasn't being picked up, and I was using the microphone on the computer, and I sounded like I was in the bathroom for like 6 episodes. It took me a while to figure that out. Well, I just now figured something out that has been plaguing me for 177 episodes, and I have
What's that?
resolved it. Your chair makes a noise that comes across on the recording as sounds like you're clicking a pen top. And I think I've even asked you, are you clicking a pen top? And you said, no, it's your chair. It's There it is. So,
Oh, I hear
since,
that.
okay,
That's
but
barely audible.
since you have since
Yeah,
you've got the backdrop up,
but I do this.
yeah, but with the backdrop up, you're afraid of bumping it, and you haven't done that, and there's been hardly any of the clicks. I just figured it out. I had to watch you and to hear the occasional click and associate it with you bending back, and then I figured it out. The GroomPod may buy you a new chair, Barbara. I'll send it along. You
Sorry,
just
I need to not. Yeah, see, I like to relax, and I sort of work my back a little bit by pushing back in my chair. And like I'm like you, it's hard for me to just like sit there.
well, you know what I
You
have to
know what
do.
who I feel sorry for? Do you watch the news, CNN or something? By the way, my cable went out, and
Uh-oh.
I've been without any TV for like 3 days.
Oh, wow. Do you
You
feel
know how
better? Do you feel different?
I feel disconnected.
Yeah.
But I have been able. This is a big deal because if you know me, you know that whenever I travel, I have to leave the TV on to sleep. I have inner ear noise that is so loud that if there's not other noise that my hearing can attach to, the inside of my head noise wakes me up. So as soon as my TV goes out, I wake up. Well, I discovered I could use my phone on my pillow on a podcast
Oh, interesting.
because
And you can learn something.
and yeah. So and last night, so I started out because I usually I go to sleep to CNN or MSNBC, my little liberal uh, media.
Feed.
So the fake news, I love fake news. Um, so I started out with political podcasts, but then last night I ran into a podcast, and by God, it's Paula Begown, the cosmetic cop, my
Oh,
original guru that started me understanding the whole marketing of ingredients and a whole bunch of stuff. And she's doing with another person. So I thought, oh, here, we'll listen to how they work back and forth. And it's so much, it's a little bit like us, not quite as rough, and there were definitely no F-bombs, but
right. That is unique to us. Don't hear a
that
lot of F bombs on the other. Definitely don't see them on those other grooming. podcast.
Only here.
That's right.
Only here do we make you feel totally at home with a few F-bombs. Although I promised myself that I wouldn't do it live today. So,
and a quick view underneath my skirt as I lift my leg over the microphone.
Yeah, that was exciting. Oh, God.
Oh, man. Jeez. Okay.
So, yeah, so I've been sleeping to these and then like it's just enough. That was a whole hour and some minutes. They're also about as long as we're that I listened to about 10 minutes of it and I was asleep. So like that's working. No, I've kind of taken it as a challenge now to see if I can handle not having the TV. And I've been so it's like a ping pong ball keeping up with the politics. I've just been so engaged in that reality show that it dictates my well-being. I'm sure you understand. Yeah, I'm sure you understand because your husband is pretty much engaged. So his mood probably waxes and wanes according to like what's going on there. So I have to actually come out to the computer and go into my email and read Washington Post to find out what's going on. And
that's a challenge.
It's the same old shit.
I know.
I haven't really missed anything.
No.
I got a little bit tired of the accolades to what's his name?
McCain.
Yeah, John McCain, who comes from Arizona, and I'm from Arizona, and I've always respected him, but man, I hated some of his positions on things.
Oh my God. What about Aretha Franklin? She's she's still displaying. She's changing outfits. She's singing songs. She's having performances.
She's changing outfits. That's what got me, because they're describing her in a golden gown, and then you see the picture. She's in red, and she's got the red shoes, and her little ankles are crossed, and with her high heel shoes sticking out.
He has 2 more changes coming as well, I understand. Okay, we're way off topic. See, this is what happens behind the scenes. Let's wrap this thing up. Oh, so don't forget to...
Wait a minute. We haven't done a show season. I haven't done an ad.
I know. Do an ad.
So I'm going to do this is really spontaneous. I haven't thought about this. We all know that I love show season. I'm going to do Bright.
Oh, I love that shampoo.
I love that shampoo. The show season Bright lives up to all of its claims. It brightens, it whitens, it really brings coats to life. And it does it by using a synthetic optical brightener that is safe for rinse off products. So it really does on older dogs or party colored dogs, or like sometimes you just need a little bit more pop, and Bright does that. It's also an excellent cleaner. It's a good all around. I can use it on some coats with not much conditioning following it.
If I remember correctly, it doesn't really have any smell. Does it have a smell?
Yeah, I think it's got a fragrance, but it's not really a lot of it. Yeah, it's mild, but it's pleasant. And you can use it with Results Rinse. You can use it with any of their conditioners, but it's really a good shampoo for professionals because it gives that coat an extra value that people never could achieve at home. That's always that's always what I'm striving for.
It's got a good color. I wish I had a car that color. We don't have one out there that color. It's a nice color. It really does. It's an effective. I think it's a pretty good concentrate as well.
Yeah, it works well through the Bathing Beauty. I wouldn't call it a whitener like white on white or one of those. It does have a blue color, and blue dye does tend to help whites.
Uh-huh.
But it's really the optical brighteners that are creating the overall effect. And it's one of our staples.
Yes.
I highly recommend.
Another staple is Evolution Shears, and yet another staple is South Park Professional Pet Products. So those are our sponsors. We don't need to talk about all of them. Just know that we support them. They support us. Please visit their websites or buy them
Oh
from their
yeah,
local
and
distributors.
yeah, and speaking thereof, show season has also been nominated for a Berkeley Honors Award for Vendor of the Year.
Okay.
So that's another way you can support the GroomPod is to vote in your ballot, not just for the GroomPod, but well, Susie wants an award.
A
Real big.
trophy.
She needs a trophy. She's earned it. She deserves it. We say it's the year of the GroomPod. I want Susie to have that for her self esteem.
Know that
All
I
right.
am not expecting it because of who we're against. But it would be really nice, and I would be so excited, and I would try to maybe hitchhike my way out there if I thought we had a chance. But I don't think, I don't know how we can compete against the other guys because they have 10,000 likes and they do much shorter videos. But we have such a loyal fan base, and I know that our 4,000 people are in their 10,000 people for sure. Like there's
Yeah.
overlap there. So vote for us, guys. If you vote for us and not for them, maybe we have a shot.
So vote for us. Vote for show season is there. Vote for Maria Quindo and Positive Ed. They're on. See, look at we hang out with the best people, and I think Best Shot has already won Vendor of the Year, and we really appreciate your support, and we appreciate you supporting our vendors so that they know that the GroomPod makes a difference to them.
For sure. And thanks for clicking on the Amazon banner, the donation button, and also for being part of our GroomPod squad on Patreon. All right, Barbara, what do you say we call it a night or a day or a morning or a show or whatever we want to call it?
Yeah, stick a fork in it.
We're done.
We're done.
Thanks, you guys, for sticking through that whole thing. I can see there's a bunch of you who hung out for the whole thing. We will do that more often. This is kind of fun. Plus, it means I have zero editing, except for that I probably put a little sticker over my flash dance there. So that doesn't show up. But otherwise, I'm just going to stick this up. I will also transfer the audio to a podcast, so that'll download later. So if you guys watched it, just delete that podcast. You already know what happens anyway. All right. Thanks for being here. Happy grooming, everybody. See you next week on the GroomPod. Bye-bye now.
Okay, groomers, take care of yourselves. Wear good shoes. Bye-bye.